Welcome to From the Den podcast, providing Bears and NFL fans alike with compelling news, discussion, and debate. I'm your co-host Benjamin, joined alongside my dear friend and co-host Oren.
Hey Benjamin, let's get right into it. As always, kickoff starts now.
So the 49ers selected Brandon Ayuk, wide receiver out of Arizona State. To give that a B+, and I think that when you're in Kyle Shanahan's offense, it's mostly run, but it's also it's run and then play action. And what makes I think this pick so great is that Brandon Ayuk can take the top off of the defense. He's a pretty speedy wide receiver, and I think that what makes him great is that him using his speed, especially on play action, will be able to open up the run game because safeties will have to play farther back and the cornerbacks will have to worry more about his speed, which means it's easier for running backs to find bigger holes.
Yeah, I really like this pick. I would say I gave it a B+. I think Brandon Ayuk is an awesome fit on this 49ers offense. It's going to be really exciting. I think he'll have a role like Deebo Samuel where he's a big speedster, and that's the type of players that Kyle Shanahan likes on this 49ers offense. So I'm really excited to see what he's going to do. As for value, people had him all over the board. So I think maybe he could have gone a little lower. That's why it was only B+. But aside from that, I really think that's a good pick by the 49ers. I like it, especially since they addressed defensive tackle earlier.
Yeah.
Now, on to the Green Bay Packers, a very exciting and one of the most shocking picks in this draft. Many people were expecting them to take a wide receiver so that Aaron Rodgers could have some more talent to throw to. But instead, they go with quarterback Jordan Love, likely Aaron Rodgers' future replacement out of Utah State. Oren, I really don't know what you're going to give this pick, but I give it a B, which I think is less harsh than a lot of other people have been saying. While I understand that certainly if the Packers want to continue to compete, they need more talent surrounding Aaron Rodgers rather than drafting Aaron Rodgers' backup. If the Packers like Jordan Love, which I assume they did, I think it makes sense to take a quarterback in the first round here, have Aaron Rodgers really help him develop for the next few years. And then I think that there's such a large wide receiver class this year that I think the Packers can still get a great wide receiver in the second round. Maybe even Denzel Mims. He's one of my favorite wide receivers. I think he'll be a good steal for whoever takes him. And I could see him doing very well on this Packers offense. So especially if the Packers end up taking a wide receiver in the second round, which we'll have to see. This is being recorded on Friday afternoon. Then I really do like this pick because that means that they managed to get some talent for Aaron Rodgers while planning for the future also.
So I might just be a biased Bears fan, but I'm giving this a C-.
Mm-hmm.
It's pretty harsh, but I think that Jordan Love, he does have the skills. He has a great arm. He has a very, very good potential. He reminds me a bit of Trubisky with like a bit better of an arm and way more inconsistent. I know it's crazy to think that someone's more like inconsistent passes, but what I would say is that the only reason why I'm not giving this an F is because he can learn behind Rodgers. I don't think obviously has the skill, but he doesn't really know when's the right time to throw. He doesn't have great mechanics. And what I think, especially for the Packers, who just went 13-3, they really need a wide receiver or a tight end, and they just didn't get it. This wide receiver draft is pretty deep, but it goes from like the late first till the early second, and the Packers don't have an early second. They have a late second, so they might have to trade up in the second round pick to get it.
Well, we'll have to see what happens, and I guess we can discuss later. But also, I think, at least in the Packers' eyes, they probably see Jordan Love as being talented, of course. And I think that was pretty good value at 26. Some people had him going later, but I think that was around where he was supposed to go. As for needs, probably quarterback is the position they needed least. But still, aside from that, I admire the Packers' boldness and really thinking ahead, even though I agree that they should be trying to get some more weapons for Aaron Rodgers. That's why I gave him a B.
So for the 27th pick, the Seattle Seahawks select Jordan Brooks, linebacker out of Texas Tech, and I have to give this a B-. Thought that the Seahawks had other needs, and Jordan Brooks is a player who is very, very, very good in – he's a tackling machine, but he's not a very consistent he's not a very consistent coverage guy, and that's what concerns me. That's the only reason why I'm giving this a B.
I give this a D actually. Whew, pretty harsh.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I think that they were. I don't think the Seahawks need a linebacker. I don't understand why they took him. They have other defensive needs. They have other offensive needs, much bigger than linebacker. And also, I think that there are better linebackers on the board other than Jordan Brooks. One of them we'll see at the next pick coming up. So I don't understand really the thought process in this pick. So it doesn't really check out the box of talent because I think there are more talented players. Value, who's supposed to go a lot later. And if he fits in with their needs, no, I don't think he does. And for those reasons, I give it a D. The only reason it wasn't an F, I guess, is I do still like Jordan Brooks, even though I said that there are some other better linebackers than him. So now moving on to one of those better linebackers, the Ravens select linebacker Patrick Queen out of LSU. I like this pick more than the last pick, but I'm still a little A on it. I mean, I gave it a B, which is pretty good. I think the Ravens could have, they have some bigger needs, but still linebacker is one of their biggest. It would have been cool if they drafted a wide receiver, but I understand their thought process if they're going to take one in the later rounds. They do have some good offensive weapons, but they still don't have really a solid wide receiver one right now. And I think they could have focused on offensive linebacker rather than inside linebacker. But with that said, Patrick Queen is still a great player. They got good value out of this pick. He's a talented player, and he is one of their needs. So that's why I gave him a B.
So I'm going to give this a B plus because I think Patrick Queen's a very good linebacker, and I agree that they did have some other needs, and that's the only reason why I'm not giving this a higher grade. He's a bit undersized, but he plays with a lot of aggressiveness. He's a good all-around player. That's why I give it a B plus.
If you enjoyed this episode of From the Den, please remember to subscribe, comment, and like this video.
Or, if you're a Packers fan, remember to dislike and leave a nasty comment. Click the links on the screen to access additional content.